1 year ago, I moved to Dubai thinking I'd finally learn Arabic. I already speak Chinese fluently, so I thought, how hard could Arabic be? Spoiler, I was wrong. 8 weeks and $500 later, I couldn't even start a basic conversation in Arabic. This is the story of how I wasted time, money, and motivation. I will tell you why my plan failed and what I should have done differently. So, Dubai looks like the perfect place to learn Arabic because compared to many other Muslim cities, it is quite open. And that is true, but little I knew that Dubai population is mainly composed by Indians. Taxi drivers speak Hindi, waiters speak Filipino, and my colleagues at work only speak English. Imagine that 90% of Dubai population is composed by foreigners and that only 10% is composed by locals, so Emiratis. Literally everybody speaks English and you barely hear people speaking Arabic. So I decided to start an Arabic course in a language school there in Dubai. The size of the class was of 10 people and they were mainly Russians. So you might think that being in Dubai with so many foreigners, there should be like plenty of language schools. But this is not actually the case because there are only 5 schools and only 1 out of 5 teaches you Emirati dialect. As you might already know, when you start learning Arabic, you also have to decide which kind of dialect you want to learn. And of course, for me, it made more sense to learn the Emirati dialect since I was there. And also you can use it in Qatar. It's like pretty much similar to Qatar, to Saudi Arabia. So I was like, of course I have to go for this, but unfortunately, I didn't have many options to choose. I just had one. The rest of the schools were all teaching Syrian dialect, Egyptian dialect, Lebanese dialect, and I was like, why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense for me to learn words that eventually I'm not going to use, especially at the beginning. If you hear people speaking Emirati dialect, I think it's going to be a little bit different from people who speak Lebanese dialect. So the course that I chose that was with Emirati dialect costed me more than all the other courses in Dubai. It was like $500 for 8 weeks. And as I was mentioning before, it was just 2 hours on Saturday. So of course, since it's so less time every week, you have to study a lot at home. The problem with me is that I only studied 1 hour per week at home. So I was only studying 3 hours in total. We learned how to build basic sentences, basic conversations, but it was very grammar heavy. Like it was a lot about grammar. It was not really about speaking. I was not enjoying it because I could see myself not progressing. So after 8 weeks, they asked me like, do you want to do the next course, the next level? And I say no, because I don't feel like this is going to help me a lot. Now, I don't want to stay here telling you many excuses like, oh, I didn't have the time to study more than 1 hour a week at home. I should have found the time because even the busiest person in the world, I'm sure they still scroll Instagram 1 hour a day. So if you delete those apps from your phone, you're going to actually find the time, at least 1 hour a day to learn Arabic. Even if it's not 1 hour, you're going to find at least 30 minutes, which is already enough. If you're going to study 30 minutes a day, you're going to make progress. At the same time, I think that environment really matters. When I was in China, I was learning Chinese very fast because in China, nobody speaks English. People have studied English in China their whole life and still they struggle so much because, of course, like English is very difficult for them. So if you're in China and you have to survive, you have to 100% learn Chinese. You cannot survive in a small city, which is not even small. It's like 2 million inhabitants. They call it small. But anyways, you cannot survive there with English at all. So yes, while in China you need Chinese to survive, in Dubai you actually don't need anything like that because you can go anywhere with English. I truly had zero opportunities to practice my Arabic. In fact, I didn't have, and still till now after 1 year, I don't have any Arabic speaking friends, And of course, nobody has ever expected me to speak Arabic in Dubai. In fact, I don't need it in my day-to-day job, also because I work in real estate. So of course I need more languages, but I already speak Chinese, which is enough. I speak Italian because it's my mother tongue, and I speak English. So I don't really feel the need to have something exclusive because Chinese is already exclusive for me in my curriculum. They are going to take me more because I speak Chinese than if I would speak Arabic. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what could I have done differently, because I'm sure that with another method, with another mindset, I could have actually learned Arabic. Instead of limiting myself to just going to those classes, I could have done much more. For example, I could have looked for a partner who was interested in learning maybe, I don't know, Italian. I should have watched video lessons on YouTube because you know that I am a fan of watching YouTube to learn anything. I should have watched Emirati or maybe Egyptian TV series, and also I should have went for clubs. Like, I'm sure that there are tons of clubs in Dubai where Arab people hang out. Now, am I going to give up on Arabic forever? The answer is no. I want to learn it someday, but of course, before learning it, I have to have a plan. Now, with Chinese, I didn't really have a plan because, of course, I've learned it in China. So my Chinese professors had a plan for me. I was thinking would be the same a little bit for Arabic, but it wasn't like that because, of course, in China I was studying 13 hours a day, like from 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. I was only learning Chinese. I was in school. Instead, here in Dubai, of course, I'm working. Of course, I'm very busy. So I have to have a plan in order to make it enter in my schedule. Arabic is a very hard language. It's not like Spanish or French that you can learn it like in a very few months. You can build a small vocabulary and that you can start speaking it. Arabic needs to be taken with more intention because, of course, it's the second hardest language in the world after Chinese. Now, why did I share this story here with you guys? Because many people share about their success, like, oh, you know, I've learned this language, I've learned this other language. But the truth is that even if you can speak the hardest language in the world, you will still find yourself a little bit like, okay, confused about the method that you have to use to learn another language. Sometimes those people on the internet will make you feel like they're succeeding so much and that you're not succeeding that much, that you will feel a little bit like, oh, they are better than me. They're not better than you. They're just not sharing the truth. And remember, it's okay to pause as long as you don't quit. Never give up. Now, subscribe to my channel to see my next language learning journey with Arabic, and of course, go to watch this video. And I'll see you there. Bye bye!